Xcode has a feature that's called behaviors. Behaviors are triggered by some action in Xcode, and you can choose what happens. There's a list of possible actions that are triggered by different kind of triggers in Xcode. And I want to show you how I use behaviors in Xcode. So let's switch to my screen. We are here in Xcode, and as you can see, I have a project open and I already have window tabs open. So let's see what happens if I close all those window tabs and even rename this one. Let's say I create another one with this here. So now, just build. This is something I want to show you next. Let's say I have, how do I create a new tab? Open and tab. No, okay, I just forgot. Oh, this one, I can use the click here. So I have an empty tab. It's called empty tab. And because I want to show you what happens when I start building. No, that's wrong. So I want to start building. I just click the start button. Then it creates two window tabs, a log tab and a tab with a dragon. And the empty tab is still there. But let's see what happens if I stop the run. Then I create another tab, and this one is a smiling an emoji with glasses, so like a nerd emoji. And what I use those window tabs for is the nerd emoji is for working on something, for programming, working on adding assets, all that stuff, what I do all the time. When I start building, it switches to the log tab, and the log shows me the log of the build that's running. It's very fast in this project because it's a very small project, but when you have a large project, you can see all those build steps it's doing there. And the last one it switches to is the debug tab. And this is used to show me the debug console. It switches automatically to the debug session. And then I can figure out what's going on while I'm debugging a program, an app I'm working on, for example. So let's see how this is set up in Xcode. Xcode has a feature that's called behaviors. And I can go there by Xcode Behaviors, Edit Behaviors. Then it opens this settings screen for the behaviors. And here on the left side, you have the triggers. And on the right side, you have the actions. Let's see what happens when we add, for example, the action play sound and speak announcement and notify user Beazle or system notification. When I now build
started,
you see the Beazle, you heard that my computer told me that the system, that Xcode started building. But this is not really useful for me. What I use the most is the switching between window tabs. And for the log tab, I also navigate to the current log. I experimented with all these other settings or actions, but I'm not using them at the moment. So that's just for, let's see what happens if we hide the toolbar. And when we start running, we show the toolbar again. Let's see how this looks like. Okay, the toolbar is gone. And it stays gone. That's not good. So let's see what we can do there. Running starts. It should show the toolbar, but it does not do that. Yeah. I don't know, it should work, but in this case, it doesn't. That's unfortunate, but let's see if we use show toolbar here again to get our toolbar back. So I stop the run with command dot and run again. Now we have our toolbar back. Okay, but I don't know why it didn't work. Maybe that those overlap too quickly, so that the timing was that this hiding the toolbar in the build start was too I don't know, should work, didn't. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm not using the toolbar hiding anyway, so it's maybe not that important. to show you that. You can experiment yourself if it works for you or not. What I use the most, as I said, is switching between those tabs. And if there is no tab with this name open, then Xcode generates this tab and then switches to it. So this is quite useful when I'm working on a new project that didn't have open in the past in Xcode, so I don't have any window tabs, but I don't have to generate them myself. I can just build and run, and then it generates them when they are used. I have another behavior when searching starts. I'll show you. When searching starts, it switches to the search navigator, and it automatically opens the search it switches to the search tab, and it automatically shows the search navigator. I can show you that with Control-Shift-F. It automatically creates this tab, and it switches to the search navigator and can start typing here to find what I'm searching for. So these are the tabs I'm using right now. I used to have a testing tab as well, but I'm not writing test at the moment, so that's switched off for now. And I also have, for example, when running generates output, I switch to the debugger and the current view. And when it completes, I switch back to my nerd tab to keep working on what I was working on. So this is what I use the behaviors for, but as you can see, there are many different actions that can be executed when they work, as we have seen, and sometimes didn't work. And there's even something that you can run a script. You can create a script, put it somewhere, and then run the script when this trigger is triggered, or when Xcode triggers this trigger. And I used that in the beginning of Swift because the build times were so slow. It took so long to build that I got bored. So I switched, when I started the build, I switched to I think it was Tweetbot at the back then, which is not a thing anymore. And when the build succeeded or failed, I switched back to Xcode. That helped a lot to deal with those long build times. This is not the case anymore. Xcode is quite fast in building right now. There's another thing you might have noticed. I don't have editor tabs open. So editor tabs, you can find them when you go to navigation in the Xcode settings. Usually when you start Xcode or download a fresh version of Xcode, you get these open in tabs activated. And what this does is you get those editor tabs. And when I double click on something, it stays in this tab. When I click something else, it opens a new editor tab. And those work quite well, so you can navigate using them a lot, and you can even move back using the keyboard. You can move back, and it works quite well. But for me, it's just distraction. I don't need those editor tabs. I don't use them. So I deactivated them and only use window tabs, or now I also try to use bookmarks when I have to remember something or work on something, or you can filter here things I last worked on, or things with changes in the Git repository. Something like that is quite more useful for me. I haven't got used I didn't get used to those editor tabs, so that's why I deactivate them when I get a fresh version of Xcode, or a new computer with a fresh Xcode. I change that to open in place. When you have open in place and you click a file, it just opens that in the editor without using the editor tabs. So this is all I wanted to show you. Let me know in the comments if you use editor Xcode behaviors and which of those behaviors you are using, or even better, if you created your own. So here you have a plus, and you can create your own behaviors, and you can even create a shortcut that triggers this behavior. This can be quite useful. I haven't found a use case for my workflow, so but I'm very interested if you found something that you are using a behavior that you trigger with a shortcut. Let me know in the comments. This is all I have for you today, and I hope to see you next time.